9 a.m. Neighborhood Restoration and Beautification Commission. We'll start with call to order.
Lucas Richardson.
Here.
Jermaine Sullivan.
Yes, here.
Kathleen Grabowski.
Here.
Mary Kay Wilkoch is absent. And Jess Stallings.
Public comment on agenda-related items. Skipping that. Approval of the agenda. Is there any comments, additions, deletions?
Second.
All in favor, voice vote.
Aye. Aye.
Approval of meeting minutes from August 7th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from August 7th. Second.
Voice vote.
Aye.
Aye. All right, unfinished business, First Street mural. So we've had some comments about the mural that it was painted being close to other murals. I don't know if there's really any action at this point, but there's just been some discussion on that.
Being close to other murals?
Yeah, being close to other paintings.
I could give some background if the commission would like.
Go
I
ahead.
can give a little background.
Okay.
So I was contacted by a local artist. And this local artist had some concerns because it was brought to her attention, I believe primarily on social media, that the painting on First Street was in some way a likeness to hers. And I want to make sure the commission understands that I think she approached me in the right way. Very polite, very professional, very pleasant person to talk to. And she was concerned because the painting was so similar to hers, she felt. And so at the time I said, well, think about what you'd like to do or what the ask is here, and I can talk to commission members and come back to me and let me know what you think. And she reached out to me recently, I don't know, a couple weeks ago maybe, and she just communicated that it kind of made her feel uncomfortable because she thought it was painted based on her painting, and so it made her uncomfortable. And again, I want to, I think she approached it the right way, at least with me. Paintings and likenesses is not exactly in my purview or my lane necessarily, but she was very polite, professional, and she just voiced her concerns to me, and so I decided to bring it to the commission. I will say that my understanding that the picture was based on, or the painting was based on a picture that one of our officers took, but art's not my thing. I don't know a painting of a painting or painting of a picture. I don't know what the rules are there. I know that we went online and saw a lot of pictures of the Manistee Raider coming through the. So I don't know. So I just want to make sure that the commission understood that it was brought to her attention. She brought it to me, and she didn't outright say this, but I think that she would like the mural to be changed or taken down or covered up. I believe she didn't outright say that, but it made her feel uncomfortable, basically, is what she communicated to me. So that's the background on that, just so the commission understands that.
Have you had any conversations with George about like where this would stand legally?
Nope.
Okay.
So her painting was off a picture that someone took. Is that what you're saying?
The mural is what he's saying.
The original lady.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that. The painting that the young lady did on First Street, I believe, was based in part off of a picture and in part on something else, I believe.
The first lady?
No. The young lady that did it for us, that painted the mural.
Because if they're both taken off of a picture, I would think that that's fine. But you're saying the first lady it came out of her head.
I don't know what her inspiration was for the
Okay,
painting.
okay.
I know she's a local artist, very talented, obviously, just based on my,
Well,
just looking at.
they both are, because I only do stick people.
No doubt. But I want to make the commission aware of the conversations I had with her.
I don't know how many different ways you can paint the same ship going through the same bridge, like,
That's
I
what
don't know. And it's a young girl that painted it that's never lived here, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Never lived here, so she doesn't know any of these people. She took her time to paint it.
And all the
I would be flattered. I don't know why it's concerning or,
What are initials on the bottom?
I think there might already be something.
What are both their initials on the bottom?
Yeah, I don't know.
so I don't even know the next time we have a process, how we're supposed to go through
Yeah, you can't just.
thousands of clip art to make sure that it doesn't look like something else that somebody might find on the internet.
Well, I think,
Exactly.
are you asking for my input, or?
Yeah.
I think if we have an artist, this artist understands that they don't want to stymie the progress that NRBC is making. She understood that. I think you just vet a little bit, say, okay, for example, if we have an artist that comes in and says, I want to draw a smiley face on First Street wall. Okay, what's your inspiration for this? What are you drawing from? Those types of things, I think, is just a checklist we can do to do our due diligence. Again, this is a pretty far outside my purview, but just looking at it from that way, I would say, okay, what exactly are you planning on drawing so we can see it? What is this based off of? Those types of questions.
I would say with her here, if she said to us, like, this is the picture I'm using for inspiration, and we found out that it was Chris's, we probably should have went to Chris and said, hey, this is what we're planning, is this okay? To which he would have said, that's actually not my picture, that's so-and-so. So not necessarily asking for permission, but maybe just grazing over it if anything like that ever comes again. Because I'm sure he would have been like, yeah, that's not mine, that's.
And again, art is the furthest thing outside of my skill set. There's zero information that says anything was intentional to copy. I mean, art is inspiration from a number of different sources. So I want to be clear that there's no information out there that this was someone's intentional act to rip off. They were inspired by a couple different things. And so I also make it clear the original artist wasn't complaining or making demands, but approached it in the right way. So I think maybe there's a learning process here, doing what we can to vet something and say, hey, have them submit to us exactly what they intend to draw. So what's the inspiration for the smiley face in the example I gave earlier, and do what little we can, I think would be a big step forward. Because I certainly don't want this to be, well, a beautiful painting was drawn, and now because it might be something else, we're just gonna stop doing this. I don't want it to stymie that progress. So I think there's a balancing act in there. That's just my thoughts. But again, to qualify that statement, art is not my thing at all.
Now, this local artist, are they willing to do a couple paintings to keep our process going?
The artist that painted the wall,
The local one, the one that lives here.
I don't know. We haven't had those conversations.
Okay, because I was thinking, I know there's somebody in my family that's talented and paints, but I sure would like to see all those filled in this year.
So,
And to be clear, there was a lot of positive feedback in the community, social media about those paintings. I think there could be a balancing act.
But if she or he are interested, they want to maybe express themselves on a couple of them. The person who lives here, you didn't say any names, so I'm just going by
Sure.
person from out of town, person that lives here all the
Yeah,
time.
that certainly wasn't a conversation that we had. I don't know that there would be interest there, but I can
Okay,
I can put the chair in touch with that person if I still have their number to see.
Okay,
And again, I don't know about painting murals versus painting a canvas, if it's different artistry, I don't know, but
oh, okay,
I think the point here is maybe just having some type of vetting process, moving forward. And I think we're kind of finding our way to a procedure on murals in general. At least that's what I'm hearing.
So, to segue that for the other painting opportunities, we have had 2 people reach out to the city manager asking if they would, or how do they go
We have more
about.
people?
We have 2 people that are interested in that.
okay.
But before we reached out to them, I wanted to make sure that we had the discussion on if we should have a process, because Chief recommended that at
Okay.
the last meeting. So we can kind of move on to that, but real quick before we move on, I just wanted to say maybe Josh and I can reach out to the city attorney, see if there's anything that we should be doing just to protect us legally on that mural. But it doesn't seem like Jermaine said, how many different ways can you paint something? I mean,
Right.
you know, positive
the
feedback
thing
if
of
we
it
were
is,
to.
if I put Charlie Brown on there, I'm not Charles Schultz. But if I don't take and make that my money-making whatever, there's nothing that, of course, he's died now, so probably a bad example. But if he was alive, I don't think he would care, because I'm not making any money on Charlie Brown being up there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Seems like
I'm
somebody
just-
doesn't own the rights to paint a certain
Yeah,
chip, is all.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not that I'm making money on it.
I know that we had conversation months and months ago, maybe it was last year, about developing a policy or procedure on murals, or maybe even just establishing some guidelines. That might be something the commission would have an appetite for, maybe not, but that might be something we can relegate to writing to guide us as we go through these projects.
All right.
So that segues into mural process, so I think we should have a subcommittee to propose to this commission what process that we should go through. I know a while back we had a full document of what Grand Rapids does. I don't know if we need to get into crazy detail, but maybe like a checklist and checks and balances between us and the artist to protect the city and our commission. So I'm gonna propose that Jess and Mary, you guys, I know Mary's not here, but kind of work on that. She was involved with kind of getting a big, all that information when this commission was first started. Be something you'd be interested in doing?
Will it be meetings?
No, I think it's kind of just working with her.
Okay, as long as I don't have to commit to more of that, just because I'm so busy
Mhm.
to take on something I won't be able to complete, so.
Yeah, I think,
It just seems so funny to me, because we do so much legal things for a little commission. It's like everybody signs a waiver, everybody has to do this, everybody has to do that. Now we gotta go through some legal procedure for a mural.
I don't think we have to go through a
Just
legal,
little committee trying to make the town look better.
right.
I mean, it seems like we put, and actually, I really do believe that waivers are a waste of time, and Josh will probably say, Kathy, but you can't sign your rights away. If somebody gets hurt helping us, the city's gonna pay. No matter if you sign your name on there or not. And it just seems to me that we worry about a lot of legal stuff.
I think it's a risk management thing, recommended by our city attorney, based on those.
Are they doing that? Other committees that are
No.
working out in the public,
I don't know of any other committee
signs a waiver?
that is doing projects, well,
Well, say like Parks Commission, for example.
I would think that if you have a volunteer and they're working under the name of the city, that it is a best practice that they sign a waiver for liability for the city.
Okay.
Especially since they're
I
using
mean,
city
you're the
equipment.
boss, but I'm just saying that.
I'm just the liaison, not the boss. I'm the one that advises you, you make the ultimate decision.
Legal boss.
So I think it's important to do what's best for the organization, and I think that's probably best for the organization from a risk management standpoint.
Okay. Can't even draw a picture on
You sitting in my chair this morning? Where are you? No.
the wall. Okay.
To take it a step further, I think that's the practice that the city would like to see for any volunteer is to have them sign the waiver, again, from a risk management standpoint. We love the fact that we have volunteers and they do a great job, but it's just a box for us to check for that purpose. Again, what's best for the organization. That's my understanding.
Thank you.
To answer your other question too, I don't know if there is any other city commissions that are doing volunteer projects with equipment. So I think that's a main reason we have the waivers is because we have city purchased equipment
Like,
that we use.
but like say the Parks Commission.
I don't believe they have any equipment of their own.
Oh, they don't? They have to buy their own?
They probably have the city do it, right?
Yeah, they either have the city parks department do the work with
Oh,
the
I
machines,
get it.
or
I get
the
it.
volunteers bring their own equipment.
Okay, I get it.
So,
So the mural process,
yeah, if we can just work on trying to get something that's for our commission, Jess, and I can relay to Mary as well, I think, to bring to our next meeting to kind of discuss. And in the meantime, I'll reach out to the two artists that we're interested in and say that we're kind of working on a process, and then we'll reach out to them later.
Do we supply like the paint and brushes and stuff for them, or do they purchase their own?
So for the last event, I believe we supplied the paint.
Some of it.
Some of the
She used a lot of her own,
Okay.
and she brought her own brushes, so.
and so just so I understand that, are we looking at developing some type of process in writing that we bring to city council and recommend for approval as like a general policy for the city? Is that what we're looking, the process?
I think it would have to be, right? I guess.
I think if we
guess
want to make
gotta
it a
talk to
general
George about
policy,
that.
we should probably make a recommendation to the city council to adopt it.
So like an ordinance.
Not an ordinance, policy.
So we're not looking at getting anything else done on that this season, because if we have to
My
do
next
this
question.
on top of city, like, nothing's gonna get approved till next year.
Well, it depends on what the commission wants to do. You can,
Well, just with the weather, I mean,
Yeah, or
Why
we
can't
could,
we reach out to those people and see what they want to do? I mean,
yeah, I mean, we went through that with Katie when she came here. She gave us a sketch of what she was gonna do and came into the meeting and kind of told us, so we can, if the commission wants to do that for these couple artists that are interested, while we kind of have them
I feel like
lingering.
that might be the
And
best
then work.
option just for
I
right
like
now.
that. Keep them interested and keep them moving.
Okay.
But I think you're right, doing, like, having the checklist of, you know, what was your inspiration, is this an original piece, that sort of thing.
Just making sure that they bring, you know, all the things that we're gonna want and approve and.
And if you already have their outreach, I mean, we can type up a quick, like, questionnaire on it. Can you answer these questions? And then set it in place for them to come to whatever meeting we decide on and go from there.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Now, do they have a wait for while we're doing
yes,
I think they did, yeah.
it? I mean,
yes. Yes, Katie signed a waiver.
Okay. I'll reach out to those two then and see if they can come to our next meeting. And then we can be prepared with any questions that we have for them to kind of keep us checks and balances. And then over the next few months or whatever, then we can work on the actual process, policy. Okay. Volunteer recruitment, Have you, heard anything else, Kathy, from anybody?
No, Jermaine, you have my clipboard in the back of your truck.
It's in the,
Bob?
yeah, it's in the box with all the stuff, so
Okay.
it's locked up.
Okay. I'll have a couple of names I think off of that.
Okay. The few contacts that I had, I haven't responded back to me if they can be on the list or not, and I'll send those to you too, whenever they get back to me. Social media postings, anything new? I saw the.
No, I'm just giving Kelly a post every other week to post on the city website or Facebook page. So.
Did we post the before and after on Hancock?
Yeah.
Okay, anything else on that? Upcoming service day this Thursday. I just drove by the site one more time. I gotta wait to talk to the city manager, and he's obviously out because he just had a baby. Him and his wife had a baby, and but in the meantime, we can go to where we plan to meet at 9th and Cypress to kind of clean up some of the hedges and kind of some brush removal there. And then all of the signs from the Welcome to Manistee service groups signed by Family Fair, we're gonna be moving those over to the historical sign. Cause that's gonna get pulled out. Yeah.
So what would really help me out is if someone could supply me with a list of all the tools that we need? Okay.
The scope, I'll get that to you.
Is that gonna fit there?
It's not gonna be the whole thing, it's just gonna be portions of it.
Oh, okay, kid.
So that might be a portion that we might not do on Thursday, just because we might need a little bit more supplies from the city, and I don't know if they're quite to that point yet. But if that landscaping work at 9th and Cypress doesn't take us too long, then we can go to the north side of town and do the other sign location.
And that's
By Muffler Man.
on the same side of the street?
No, on the opposite side of the
Oh.
street. So that sign is no longer there. I don't know what happened to it, but it used to be there. But that's this
But
project.
we meet at 9th and Cypress.
Yep, meet it.
Okay, 4 o'clock?
Yep.
Okay.
And on that note, Mary, has there been anybody that has responded? No. Okay.
Send out a reminder today if you want.
Yeah, it's probably worth it if we haven't had any feedback yet. Okay. And for now, we'll keep the 31st on the schedule just in case. But we might not need it. Maybe we can deal with some of the sidewalks on 31 that Kathy, you and Jim have been talking about. Having all those tall weeds.
The city didn't cut those?
I don't know, I mean, there's 9 blocks of it, so.
Okay. I can bring my mower.
All right, any expenses that we need to do? I don't think there's anything we need for this project. We have our pole saw we could use and the hedge trimmer. All right.
You're in charge of the water, right?
Well, for
Oh, bringing water.
No, she's in charge of the water.
Oh, yeah.
Bringing water to,
Better be like good
Cold
stuff,
water.
like crystal clear,
Cold.
Fuji.
Yeah, smart water, then we'll do better.
police department projects, anything, any updates?
Nothing that's been reported back that meets those standards set, except for we still have those houses reported on last year that need siding. And that's more of a financial component, trying to find a path for them, so.
All right, last item here is ordinance review. So last meeting, we talked about kind of starting to look at the ordinances that are affected by some of the things we do in this commission, weeds, anti-blight, and sidewalks. So in the packet here today, Mary printed off all those. If we wanna take a look at those within the next few weeks and start thinking about, any things we wanna suggest to revise or add to any of these to improve them, improve the policies. Just a couple comments that I have right now on the weeds ordinance, so chapter 692. So the policy, I believe, is to, when reported to the city DPW, if there's noxious weeds over 10 inches, they send out a letter, and then 7 to 10 days or something like that, 7 days, the city goes out and cuts them.
Right.
But I don't see anywhere on here with, all the sidewalks that we've been doing in all of our projects and all throughout 31, and maybe it'd be worth recommending to council that that should be added, you know, to edge and remove overgrowth of vegetation to the sidewalks, and then that could kind of be added to this policy.
I think we have a sidewalk maintenance policy through the city that talks about maintaining the sidewalk.
Yeah, in the sidewalk, in the sidewalks ordinance, it's pretty vague. It's like maintain. So what does maintain include? And there's not really a policy, I don't think, other than, it says like the city manager should notify the owner, but there's so many sidewalks in town that I don't know if that ever happens. My thought was if you add this into the weeds ordinance, it already has a policy. You know, we could send out the letters to when sidewalks need to be cleared if they're not safe to have a wheelchair on them, or even to walk past them, like that one on 4th Street that we took care of last year. The mailman couldn't even get past the sidewalks. That's just my thoughts on that.
I thought that grass, I was gonna cut that grass down the highway before the 4th. And they said that letters had been sent and I would just be screwing up the process. So now you're saying they don't send letters to cut your your grass back?
No, they do, but what I'm saying is like when the weeds are growing through the sidewalks, I mean, yeah, you can mow them down, but there's still
Yeah.
clumps of sod and weed in the sidewalks that should be cleared out.
But are we gonna cut the grass too while we're there? Or
For
you-
the project, I think we can work on the city right-of-way areas. I don't think we're gonna be cutting any grass on people's property though.
No, I mean between the sidewalk and the road.
I think we should check to see if a letter was sent out
Okay,
for the
all
specific
right.
addresses. So if there's some that you have in mind, just let me know what those are. And
Oh, okay, thank you. I didn't know if the letters, you know, were answered or not.
I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you.
That's all my comments for them right now, but I intend to keep this on the agenda for discussion, and eventually we should bring our comments to city council for the discussion. There's no public comment. There's nobody here. Anything else, Jermaine?
Who has September? Do you know what you're doing?
Yeah, the corner of 6th and David. Edging and stuff.
Clearing the sidewalks and whatnot.
I have October.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I was gonna do the bathrooms,
A good one for.
I'm just gonna leave that alone.
A good
I'll
one
find
for
something.
October is, we talked about, Morton Park. The Parks Commission was gonna be doing all the new parks equipment. We talked about cleaning up maybe the sidewalks and the fences and whatnot around there at the same time. So that could be something we could do.
Are you going to consider that council on aging, or are you just gonna fly it, or are you gonna I mean, I think.
So I did reach out,
sure.
yeah. So I wanted to kind of talk about that too. I did talk about the fountain with the water department, and they think it's still hooked up, but they'd have to go and test it out. I think we'd have to get with DPW a little bit to figure out what we can do to help on that project.
Okay.
And I can do that if that's something we wanna do.
Is that considered public property?
We need to find out before we move forward if it's
Who do we
public.
like, I don't know why I can't figure that out, but,
Manistee County Council, we have to find out who owns the property, if it's publicly owned or privately owned.
okay.
Or we,
Well, I think when I pulled it up, that's what it said.
Manistee County.
Yeah. So,
which would be publicly owned if the county
Okay.
or city entity owns it.
okay.
So that could be something too, if there's something that we can help with on that.
Well, yeah, that could be October, I guess.
And they wanted it painted too, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, cleaned and painted, yeah.
I have to, kind of go cheer for the old people because I'll probably go.
Alright. I don't have anything else. I'll figure that out though from DPW
Thank you.
if it's gonna work. If that's something we wanna do.
That'd be wonderful.
Anything else from you, Kathy?
Nothing for me.
Jess? Josh, Mary? Alright, motion to adjourn.
Awesome.
Thank you.